What advice would you give to young people who are interested in getting involved in sports?
Okay, so the advice is, you got to figure out what sport you like. Because, even with my son, you think me being a football coach, my son, I was out there playing football, this and that. I would love for him to do it. But you know what? He's not interested in it right now. The advice I would give these kids is if you're interested in sport, go and do it. The advice I would give the parents is don't push the kid to a sport that you want. You need to embrace what their interest is and build upon that. Some people push their kid and say, you know what, I play football. And you're going to play football. What if you don't like football? My son right now is embracing golf.
Okay.
So let's go hit some golf balls. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. There's big money in golf. It's a great game.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Strike Eagle podcast, where we focus on the stories and experiences of military veterans who have successfully transitioned into entrepreneurship. Our goal is to inspire and educate our listeners on the benefits and challenges of starting a business after serving our country. Each episode, we feature a different veteran who has taken the leap and created their own successful business. We delve into their unique journeys, discuss the skills and mindset needed to be a successful entrepreneur, and provide valuable insight for those considering taking the same path. Join us on this journey of discovery and inspiration as we encourage more military veterans to become business owners and leaders in their communities. Here's your host, Irving Hill.
Welcome, everybody, to the Strike Eagle podcast. I'm your host, Irving Hill, and today we got our awesome guest from the local area here in the Emerald Coast. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What is going on, everybody? If you've seen me before, my name is Coach Torres. I am the CEO and founder of Future Star Sports Clinic. I'm also a 14-year Marine Corps vet. So that's kind of what connects us with Strike Eagle and what we're doing. But what we do is we teach kids, sports fundamentals, but we use sport as a catalyst to teach these kids how to be better people. We could get into the details of it, but that's why we're on this podcast, man. And I'm
amazing,
more than grateful to be here with you, and you invited me out today.
Hoorah! I was actually in Marine Corps ROTC for all of high school, all 4 years.
Look at that. What made you?
I know way more.
What made you go to Air Force route?
Funny story. I went to I actually wanted to join the Navy and be a Seabee, but that guy never called me. But the Air Force guy, I don't know how he got my information, probably just from taking the ASVAB, but he called me up and he's like, hey, you want to do that? Like, you can be an aircraft mechanic. I was like, all right, let's do that. And there we go. I did my 5 years as an F-15 crew chief.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Now, what did you do in the Marine Corps?
I was in an aircraft mechanic. Well, not an aircraft mechanic. I was in aviation as well. So I was what we call aircraft maintenance administration. They've actually changed the name. They've changed the name recently. I think it's like MDS or something like that. That was after I got out. But what I did was basically I ran all the books for the aircraft that are in the air. They got to make sure that the schedules are on point, make sure the hours that are on. So that was what we did, or what I did was we made sure that nothing was overflown, and therefore that's airworthiness.
For us, you were ops.
There you go.
That's what we normally call you guys. Let's talk about Future Star Sports Clinic. Like, tell me the catalyst. Like, what started it?
It's funny, man, because football has been in my life. I'm originally from Jersey, so I'm not from the Oakland County area. I'm originally I was born in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Okay, my cousin's from there.
Yeah, hometown of Frank Sinatra, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think people will disagree, but I think there's some history behind it. That I think the first baseball game was played in Hoboken, New Jersey. If I'm not mistaken, either baseball or basketball. There was a sport that was founded in Hoboken. But I am an alumni of North Bergen High School. That's where I went to high school, and I played football my entire day. That was my life. Football was life. So after that, I got recruited by a couple colleges, did what I needed to do, but I decided to join the United States Marine Corps, and I did 14 years, and I served. After I got out, it's a struggle for vets as well. When you get out, it's like finding a job. It's a job and finding a job. So I was fortunate enough to find a job down here as a contractor, working for Special Operations on Harbor Field. So I moved down here. I bet on myself. I don't know what I was going to get into, but you know what? It was probably the best decision I made in my life. I mean, a lot of people will say, why didn't you finish the other 6 and retire at 20? I'm like, well, because this was my purpose. This is what I needed to get to. So I got down here and I started deploying with a lot of the special op guys over to Africa 3 months at a time, and it got a little. I was putting myself in danger too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's time for me to come home. And in 2017, I came home because I had my first son, who's 7 now, and his name is my first son is 7. His name is Captain, and I wanted to be home for it. And so I stayed home. I switched jobs. I moved over to Eglin, worked for mission planning. And during that time, I kind of told my wife, I want to get back to basics. I want to get back to what I love, and that was coaching. I want to get back to the sport of football. So I started coaching in the city of Fort Walton Beach as a volunteer. That story can go into lots of detail, but what I will tell you is I took over a team that had not won a game at all the year prior. We went 8-0. We went 8-0 into the championship, and we lost the championship in overtime. Now, as the head coach, I got to bring these kids' spirits up. These are kids that are ages 8 to 10 years old. Bring their spirits up, and they weren't mad. They weren't upset. What they were upset about was that the football season was over, and the relationships and the family environment that I created between these 19 kids that didn't go to the same school, that's what they were upset about. And at that point, that's what incepted. That was the catalyst of Future Star Sports Clinic. I looked at my coaches who were EOD technicians, and I said, listen, we got to do this on a bigger scale. We got to do this on a bigger scale and teach these kids how to play the fundamentals of football before they put a helmet on, to make it, one, more safer, more strategic for coaches. But that third thing, we need to show these kids how to be better community members using sport. So in 2017, that's the seed that planted Future Stars Football Clinic, and here we are 6 years later, now expanding into more sports, so we can impact more kids with the 5 pillars of success that we teach these kids, which are practice, teamwork, focus, discipline, and respect. 5 pillars. I wear 5 on my hat all the time. That's why I said I had to wear that hat. I wore number 5 when I played football. I grew up on 5th Street, so 5 is a very synergistic number to me. So with that being said, we're expanding into 5 more sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, I thought your hat was like defense or something, since you're a big football guy.
Yeah, but, no. So it's awesome. A brand. You know what's funny? It's a brand called Undefeated. It's a very trendy brand. And I was actually sitting with Najee Harris when he came and visited Herbert Field. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever has told me that they knew this brand. Najee Harris looked at me and goes, man, that's a dope Undefeated hat. I said, you're the first person that has ever told me Undefeated. And since then, we've been able to talk. It's all about connecting with somebody, And
that's like one of the most important parts of like what you do, especially like with these kids, is just like bridging that gap and helping them build these long-lasting, strong relationships. Because, we're a military community, and just like you said earlier, like the churn in this community is real high. So kids, especially military kids, they have a hard time making relationships, because you could be best friends with this person for a year, and then they get orders, and then they're gone, and you never see them ever again. So with your sports clinic, like really focusing on settling on these fundamentals. I just had a conversation with my middle kid about that. I was like, hey, you know what the strongest part of a tree is? The roots. If your roots aren't strong, the whole tree is going to struggle, and it's just going to get blown away. And it's the same exact thing with sports and in life. If you don't have the fundamentals, you don't have the basics, you don't have that strong root system, it's going to be real easy for you to just get blown over by life. Your fruit is not going to be good. It's going to be bad. You're going to struggle.
Yep. And that's what, and that's awesome, man. That's exactly what the kids need to hear.
Now, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in getting involved in sports?
Okay, so I love that question, man. The advice is, you got to figure out what sport you like. Because, even with my son, you think me being a football coach, my son, I was out there playing football, this and that. I would love for him to do it, but you know what? He's not interested in it right now. Mm-hmm. So those kids, whatever, the advice I would give these kids is, if you're interested in sport, go and do it. The advice I would give the parents is, don't push the kid to a sport that you want. You need to embrace what their interest is and build upon that. So some people will push their kid and say, you know what? I play football, and you're going to play football. What if you don't like football? My son right now is embracing golf.
Okay.
So let's go hit some golf balls. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. There's big money in golf. It's a great game.
Exactly. But so that's sport. sport across the board in the United States is just something that embodies the human spirit, and that's why it's so important and so powerful to make change with sport. You're on a platform to do something as a team. That's why one of our pillars is teamwork. The other pillars are, practice, focus, discipline, respect. 5 pillars which mean a lot to do with sport, but also mean a lot to do with life. So that's what's different between our clinic and a lot of clinics of other clinics that do sports. That's the line of delineation. We are not just a sports clinic. We're bigger than sports. We're a mentorship program.
Awesome.
We teach these kids how to be better people using sport. Case in point, as we did football, and that's 5 days in April, free, by the way. If you're listening, free 99, free. And it's only free because of our sponsors and donors. But out of those 5 days, they learn offensive fundamentals. They learn defense fundamentals. We do a combine where they learn that they do their 40s, all the other good stuff. You know what I mean? We do a 7-on-7 day. And then one of those days has nothing to do with sport. Absolutely nothing. One of those days we go and we take all our kids and we do community service. We teach them how to give back to the community. Yeah, how to give back to the community that has given to them, because this program would not be a program if the community isn't behind it, if the community didn't sponsor, didn't donate, if our volunteers, who, because we're talking about military, are 90% active duty veterans, coaches, student athletes who come out and volunteer. It's a full circle program, just like with our partner, Forever Warriors, Tiffany Warner. We're all about making sure that veteran, because you're a veteran, I'm a veteran. We have a lot of veterans that suffer from PTSD. PTSD, it's a scary thing. I have PTSD, and my therapy is doing what I do now. But I opened this program up to volunteers that are veterans that are suffering from things like that as well. Because guess what? They don't like to speak about what is going on in their mindset. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these veterans who have PTSD, they get into a space, and it's an ugly space where they feel they don't have any purpose. Well, guess what? Let's find a purpose for you. Come out to Future Star Sports Clinic. Let's get you. You want to be a coach or you want to just help out? Let's find a purpose. Let's get you to invest in the community, invest in these kids. And what happens is it turns around a lot of these veterans who at some point were in a dark place. And guess what? You came out and we fixed you. So the program is not just for kids ages 6 to 13. It's for everybody that is part of it. So it takes a village. It
does. And I love that you say that, because I definitely understand that. Like, I went through a dark time when I got out for that exact reason. I felt purposeless. When you go from like wearing the uniform every day, and then like you leave that, like you don't have that mission in life anymore. You're not waking up to fly, fight, and win. You're waking up to go work a job that you don't like. Your friends aren't there. So you don't have that camaraderie. Like, it is so different just being in a civilian environment where like there's no life and death situation. So like you don't have that close-knit community anymore. And that's why I always tell guys, like, hey, when you get out, like, make sure you call your homies. Like, we're in a dark place right now. Like, we're lost. Like, we need help. Like, call us. Like, still play games with us. Like, we still exist. Just because we're not wearing ABUs or whatever the heck they're on now, multicam, like, doesn't mean we're not friends anymore. Like, that's why I love that part of your program is so focused on like community, because like us vets, we need it, these kids need it, and it's something that's lost in our society right now. I love the tenets of being an individual and just working on myself and just being independent. But just like you said, football, you can't just be one guy out there.
Nope. Everybody has a job.
Yeah. You could have a phenomenal QB, but if your line is trash, he's just going to get sacked every time. Mm-hmm. And it's so important for us as veterans to like find that community, find those 5 guys or 5 ladies that are just solid people that help us in life, that we can do life with, and just have that team.
And it's funny, it's funny with what you just said. why did you just pick the number 5? You see how it's just such a synergistic. I mean, it just came out of your head. You didn't choose that. It happened.
Yeah.
But what it is you know what? As a veteran and veterans that are listening, if you're watching this, what happens is you got to find a purpose.
Yeah.
And when you find that purpose, you got to work in that purpose. And I mean, like you're saying, they'll get out and work a job that they don't like. Well, you need to do it, 1, because you got to make money, but 2, when you like a job, it's because now you're working in your purpose. Maybe your purpose is to help. Maybe your purpose is to help veterans. Maybe your purpose is to help kids. But you don't know what it is until you find it, and some people don't find it. That's where I come in with my organization. You come to our organization, not only is a mentorship program for our kids, it's a mentorship program for the volunteers that are coming in, because now let's figure it out, because you probably have not had a leader in your life. And I will call myself a leader because sometimes I feel like I'm not working in my purpose. My purpose is this program on my shirt. My day job, I don't think I'm working in my purpose. So when it is what it is, but that's why I do this, because I want to help people find their purpose. Because when you find your purpose, it fixes society where we're at right now. Society is a selfish society. Everybody cares about themselves. Purpose means outside of yourself.
Exactly.
And when you find a leader that helps you do that, because what happens is a lot of these leaders, a lot of these managers, they manage. Anybody can manage. I can manage till you did this wrong, you did this wrong. But what a real manager is a leader. Somebody who's going to take that person that works for you and show you let's give you a roadmap to get to where you need to be.
Exactly.
And if that is where you need to be, is beyond me and past me, above me, then awesome. Because you know what's going to happen? One day, that person's going to say, I am where I am because I had this one guy that showed me how to do this.
Exactly.
And that's the definition of purpose. But the fact of the matter that we're doing it for the volunteers, we're trying to instill that into kids ages 6 to 13 so we can change the future, change the mindsets of people, change in general. And Future Stars Sports Clinic is going to do that, not only here in Okaloosa County. The idea is to make this a household name where anywhere you go in the United States, Future Stars is there. We can only do that with you people that are listening. You should understand what we're saying, understand the power of what we're doing, and figure out how you can help elevate this program, whether it's sponsoring, donating, volunteering, sharing this podcast that he's going to do, because you never know who is watching or who you know that can help this organization. That's where we need to go. And that's, again, we got to get people that understand that. And why are we doing that?
Exactly. We need to, there's too much like being within ourselves, and that just, it almost causes like a cancer. Like, you do need to be part of your community. You need to invest in your community, because that investment is just going to pay off in perpetuity, like not only for your mind, but also just like your spirit. Just giving back pushes you forward. And you know, your day job may be monotonous and boring, but if that day job can provide for your family and help you be a volunteer for something else, like, be appreciative of that. Because at the end of the day, your job may suck, and that's okay, but your life isn't about your job. Like, build a life that you want to live. Find those people who are where you want to be in the future, and then just have them try and help you get there. Like, I love your mentorship program. And speaking of the future, what do you think technology can really help with the future of Future Stars Sports Clinic?
Oh boy, where do you want to start? You know, I'm in the IT field, so.
Yeah. I mean, we got like AI is popping. Like,
it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I put a lot of my board members on AI, ChatGPT, every type of thing that's going on with AI, and it helps. And I was having this conversation with my VP the other day. I'm like, listen, man, if you're writing things up because we got to write for grants, we're doing grants, we're doing this because I don't want to chase funding.
Yeah.
I want people to, you know, here's what I want people to do. I want people to invest in this organization, but not invest because it's a tax write-off. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. And again, I'm not saying I don't want to collect money either for the organization, but what I want people to do is to come out, see what we do, and after you see what we do, or after you go to our website or watch videos, then really figure out, here's how I can help, because I believe in the program. I wish I could get like a Nike to write $1 million check, but am I a check write-off, or do you believe in the program?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Now, how do you get to these people? You have to either, write these nice grants. Sometimes you don't have the knowledge or how to write. Guess what? That's where this AI comes into play. Yeah. You put your idea into AI, and then you take it, you let it spit something out of you, and then you fix it. Now, it's good and bad. I will tell you that. It's good and bad, because what's going to happen is it might put people that don't have the right intentions in places where they don't need to be. And what will happen is, with good leaders and good people that can read, they'll understand that immediately. But what it will do is save time for the people that need to go and make those changes and get those opportunities. Because now, like, for instance, me and you are speaking here. I need 5 minutes with the right organization, and I'm going to get the funding that I need.
Yeah.
5 minutes. You give me 5 minutes and it's a wrap. But I got to find out how I get into that space. Exactly. I haven't gotten to that space yet, but when that space shows itself, Future Stars is going to be all over the map. And AI helps with that.
Yeah, I love it. It saves bandwidth. There's so much to do in the day, and I love using AI to just help me control my bandwidth by doing tasks that I don't really want to do, but I have to do. And it's fantastic at making sketches. The only thing that I'm afraid of is that people are going to take AI, they're going to take ChatGPT, plug it into their brain, and they no longer have thoughts or ideas. It is the creativity of the AI, and they are just a husk walking around. It's spitting out ChatGPT nonsense. Have you integrated any technology at all, into showing this to the kids? Showing how, let's say, ChatGPT or Google Bard or any of these systems, how it can take you, hey, you're struggling in this one area. You can't. I think you did basketball. I'm not sure from one of the other
basketball. Basketball is one of our new sports. So we've only done football. We're expanding to baseball and soccer this October for pilots. Basketball will be next year, and then the fifth sport, we don't know what it is yet. We're gonna empower the community. We're gonna do a poll and let them choose what they would like Future Stars Sports Clinic to do. Again, it has to be a team sport. It can't be golf. It can't be boxing. It's got to be a
wrestling.
Yeah.
But let's say that you do struggle in an area, you can plug that into the AI and have it, hey, I need a strength and conditioning program. I'm weak in these areas. So it's okay, here you go, just do this every day. Here you go, have fun.
Yep.
And that saves you from the research phase, and you can edit and plug things in and prompt and prod and really make that system that's for you to really push you forward.
We have, and I mean, in this day and age, nothing's better than good old hands-on coaching. You know what I mean? Especially, I'm talking from a football coaching perspective, being the running backs coach at Pryor Middle School. I can coach them and run through drills all day that I've looked at and drills that I know that I did when I was a running back. But what I also tell them afterwards, if you want to be a better running back or a better player at your position, you have the resources in your hand. You can go on YouTube and say, hey, how drills to become a better running back. And when the thing is you have to want and commit yourself to what you're doing. And that's in everything, not just sports, in your job, in your relationships, in everything. You commit yourself to it to be better. You have the resources in your hand to do it. We didn't have that 10, 15 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But you have it in your hand to do it. So if you're not doing it, I can't condone it, because you have it. You have the tools to become better. I'm just here to guide you and provide you more tools.
Exactly.
And I tell everybody, you only get better when you do things when people aren't watching. When people aren't watching, that's when you get better. And greatness is built when you're uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, if you're sitting in a comfort zone, comfort only breeds weakness.
Exactly. There's a story about Kobe Bryant that I love. I can't remember who the basketball player is that said it, but they went in to train really early in the morning, and Kobe was already there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. It's Kobe's here. It's all right. So he's out there, they're both training, and he puts in 8 hours. and he's about to leave. Kobe's still there, and they have a game that night. He's like, what? This man's a maniac. And he goes, they play their game, and Kobe just smokes him. It's just an absolute just smoke show. And he goes up to Kobe, he's like, hey man, like, I saw you working out. I saw you training. Like, you went hard, and like, you still have gas for this game. Like, what the heck were you doing there? And he's like, look, like, you're good, but I need to show you what good actually is. And it's like, you're not gonna outwork me. I was like, oh my God. Like that discipline, that consistency.
That's that Mamba mentality. And you know, discipline, what I tell a lot of kids, especially in the clinic and kids that I coach football to, I ask them, you know, what's your definition of discipline? I mean, it's not a wrong answer. I mean, there's someone say, oh, discipline is my parents or my teacher yell at me or my coach yells at me, and I gotta do what I know is right. There's so many different answers. My definition of discipline is what I've heard the great Mike Tyson say. Okay, discipline is doing things that you don't like to do like you like it,
exactly.
And that's cut and dry. Yeah, I don't like running. Guess what? I love it because I'm doing it. I have to do it because if somebody else is going to do it, or people that don't like it, they're not going to do it. And guess what? You're not going to grow. There's no growth. You have that's my definition, and I love that definition. And I tell that to these kids as well. You have to do things that you don't like you love them.
Jocko Willink has my favorite discipline quote. Discipline equals freedom. If you're not out there clanging and banging, you're not out there putting in that work, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be weak. And weak men, you know, they're not free. They become slaves to something, whatever that is. And in sports, especially team sports, like committing, discipline, it's important. And you need to put in that time. We're going to be wrapping up here. We've got 10 more minutes. Tell us more about your program. Like, give us your website. How can people give? How can people get in touch with you?
Awesome. That's easy. So it's funny you asked that, you know, give us our website and all that stuff. Our website used to be, that's past tense if you're listening, used to be, futurestarssportsclinic.com. So that would say used to be. We just recently bought a new domain and it's now thefuture.org, aka thefuture.org. It's very easy to remember. You can go to thefuture.org and find out all the information you need about Future Stars Sports Clinic. You can also go to our link tree, and I'll provide you that link, and you can put this link in the post as well.
That link will be in the description below, guys.
Yep. So that Linktree link will give you everything you need to know about Future Stars at one click away. How to donate, how to sponsor, all about us. If you want to sign your kid up, if you want to sign up to volunteer, and you can see all the testimonials from parents to NFL players that believe in this program. Which, by the way, every clinic that we have, we have professional athletes come to those clinics to be guest speakers. I get those guys to talk to us as well. So baseball's got one. We got one coming up. He was actually drafted right behind Ken Griffey Jr., good friend of the family. Okay. I don't like to publicize who they are because then what happens is people come to the clinic for wrong reasons. Now people will say you need to do that. That's how you market it, this and that. Again, you're right. I agree, but I work differently. I work as we need to get people behind it rather than, you know, I'm there for the flash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Our link tree will give you all that information. And if you're watching this and you're a vet, support a vet. If you're watching this and you're a football player or any type of sports player, support a fellow coach at $5, $10. If you have a business, sponsor. Our sponsor levels are super low. And a lot of businesses or a lot of nonprofits have told me, Coach Torres, you know, you're trying to fund your program, but your sponsor tiers are low. I'm like, you're right. They are low. And the reason they're low is because I would rather have quantity in the community backing this organization, because Future Star Sports Clinic, we provide the quality on the field.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I could go chase the big fish, which I have to do it. But before I do that, I need the following and the response from a community here, which is a great community, Okaloosa County. My roots are here now. Yeah, I'm from New Jersey, but this is my home. So if this is going to be seen by anyone from Okaloosa County, donate, sponsor, or think about volunteering. October 14th will be our baseball and soccer clinic. We're doing both of them the same day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. We need you guys to sign up now. You ready? Now, hit the link right now. But yes, that's what it's about. And again, it's free. It's 100% free, but we need to make sure that we have the funding and the volunteers to run it. If we don't get that before October 14th, we're probably going to have to postpone, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to postpone, or I don't want to charge these kids to come to a clinic. I refuse to do it. I want every kid to have the same opportunity in sports and just in life in general, because that's what we're doing. We're building confidence. We're fueling passions and dreams of these young 6 to 13-year-old kids and these high school student athletes that are coming back.
And lastly, to all of our active duty members right now, they're transitioning out. Let's say they're 6 months before they're done. What advice do you have to give to them before they take that first step into being a civilian for the first time and getting that DD-214?
That's a great question, and I have the greatest advice for them. The one advice is, if you're in and you're 6 months before you're getting out, you need to go to SEPs and TAPs. That's key. I would even say, if you know you're getting out within a year, you need to go to SEPs and TAPs twice. You need to go at 6 months, and you need to go about a month before you get out. Now, once that's done with SEPs and TAPs, because it's a lot of information that they're providing.
It is a lot of information.
And it's hard to just take and digest all that. So you need to go twice. After you're done and you actually get your DD-214 and you're out, it's a job finding a job. You need to make sure you have a spreadsheet on Excel or a Google Sheets and start applying to jobs. Apply to jobs, kind of like when you're in the military and you got your first duty station. They gave you like, hey, pick your, what's your 3 places you want to go, overseas.
Dream sheet.
Your dream sheet, right? That's the same thing now, transition over to civilian. Pick your dream sheet. Where do you want to live? And once you do that, figure out what the cost of living is in that area and start applying to jobs in that area. Once you do that and you keep that spreadsheet, always follow up. And as we talked about earlier with AI will help you write those resumes.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're there and you're in there, make it happen. The only thing I would tell you, the same thing what I told me, bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
People will tell you, don't gamble, don't risk, don't do that. Okay, gambling, the house always wins. But if you're betting on yourself and life and what you're going to do and what your passion is, you can't lose. Yeah. Because you believe in yourself.
Invest
so believe in yourself.
Believe
in yourself, invest in yourself, and move forward in whatever passion that is that you choose. Once you do that, you will be successful. And you can't do it on your own. I will tell you that. You will not do it on your own. Make sure you create a great network around you. Those 5 people, as you said earlier. And then that's my advice for veterans that are getting out of the military. And reach out. You have a team. You were part of a team. You were part of a family, whatever branch it was, whether it was Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, National Guard, whatever it was. You've connected with somebody who has a personal relationship with you. Keep those relationships, find those relationships after, before, during, and that's going to help you be successful in where you need to go. So that's my advice for those that are getting out, man.
Money.
And find me. Email me if you need to talk to anybody. Coach Torres at thefuture.org.
That'll be in the description as well. Well, thank you so much, Coach Torres, for being on the podcast today. You were fantastic. I love your organization. We're going to do great things together, and I look forward to seeing you in real life. And for this to come out, you share it. And if you're a veteran and you're looking to get involved with this organization, click the link below in the description. I highly suggest it. It's a great organization here in Okaloosa County. Have a great day, and thank you for tuning in.